Hey guys, welcome to this new video. I know I told you the next upload will be the results of my 20,000 pulls or 70,000 pulls. But I came across something way more important than that, in my opinion at least. And therefore I wanted to make this video first. What is this video about? Basically there is this player called Freya. Freya is a top tier player at the moment at spot 4, but since Xion stopped playing the game, it's basically top 3 player. And I've talked with Freya a lot because I wanna correct my strategies and the guides I do. So I'm really lucky that Freya is like helping me out with getting my guides better and fixing things. And Freya did a Discord post for suggestions on how to improve the game for the devs. And I thought it's probably not too bad if we talk about this, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it and also try to get more people as an attention to it, because I think overall the ideas in those in this blue post more or less are pretty good. There's a few I don't really see that beneficial, but there's also a few that I think are really important, especially for an idle game. And so that's why I wanted to talk about it. This video might take a little bit longer, so keep that in mind, but I think it's a really important topic and it's for the future of the game and to improve the game overall, so also new players have actually some reason to enjoy the game and play it. So I went ahead and I copy and pasted the whole Discord messages. It were like 3 or 4 messages stuck together, and I thought to myself, okay, I will just put it into a WordPad because I think the Discord overlay, it's kind of hard to see on a YouTube video or stream or whatever. So yeah, basically Freya wrote this, so if you have any questions specific to this blue post, you can go ahead to the Facebook page of Valkyrier. I will try to not forget it after the video to actually put it in the comment section. So you guys can go ahead and go there, and there is the invite link for the Discord server from Valkyrier. And on the screen right now you can see and join our Discord server. That's not the Valkyrier official Discord server, that's a new one we just created today, and we will try to improve it as we speak. I'm not the best with Discord, so bear that in mind. I will try my best to make the server good. I got someone assisting me with that, and we try to kind of recreate a better Discord server, because unfortunately the Valkyrier Discord server is kind of underwhelming and doesn't really put a lot of features on the table for the community and the players. So therefore we kind of wanted to make our own Discord server, so just we have like a better stable community to go through. And since I wanted to do a Discord server for this YouTube channel specifically anyway, I thought instead of doing that I could also just go ahead and work out on Discord server, since people were requesting it in the suggestions from the official Discord server, and people were talking about that they know the company on other games that the company published. It's also like people usually do their own community server. So I thought, yeah, why not? Let's take the task before no one does it, or it will probably take just too long until it happens. So yeah, we already nearly 5 minutes into the video and I didn't talk shit yet, as per usual, I guess. So let's go ahead and check out what we've got. So Freya first mentioned for in-game features that should be implemented into the game. The first feature is a guild system, and I think that's a really good idea. I think it is really important that even players that are free to play, or like players that are not able to really push high ranks, are still able to have some sort of success in rankings by teamwork. And I think a guild system is really important in the sense of anyone with an active strong guild should be able to have a high rank, regardless of if you have a ton of whales in there or whatever. You should have the possibility to have a guild that has an own ecosystem, and a guild can build its kind of like own kingdom around it, you know. So I think a guild system is really, really healthy for a healthy competition outside of the away competition you basically have on the top lists. I mean, it's not only away competition, but it's in the future, you know, it will clear out who is whaling more and who is whaling less. It is what it is. It's a mobile game. It's pay to win as always. We know that. We still love idle games, so we still keep playing them regardless of if it's pay to win or not. And I'm pay to win as well, so I cannot really charge on that. So yeah, guild system, great idea. I think we should definitely get it, and I really hope the devs thought about a guild system even before it got mentioned, because every good idle game, you know, you probably know they have a guild system. Like, I cannot really name idle games at all, to be honest, because this is quite my first idle game I really play. But I've played a few before, just like a little bit when I was at work and I was bored or something, but I didn't really play any for a really long period of time. But I saw that like every idle game that has an insane big community and like a lot of players, and every time I chatted there were a lot of people. It was always something with a guild system, and that also brings us over to the friend list. I think a friend list idea is in some way good, and you will see later on when we come to the point why it is good. But also I think it's not most necessary as of right now. I think something like a guild system is way more important to get into the game, even though I don't think a friend list system is that hard for the devs to put into the game. I'd assume, at least, because the company behind the game is quite big actually. So I think a friend list is doable without a big of resource waste for the company, but I don't see it too necessary as of right now, at least. So let's go ahead. PvP expansions, we will read about this in a moment. Just so you know, this in-game features, it's basically only like all the chapters, you could say, Freya mentioned in all everything after. And I will just give my take on everything, but everything you can read here is basically from Freya's opinion, and I agree with most of it, and there's a few things I don't think are too necessary, as I mentioned, like the friend list as of right now at least, and also a few things I don't really see that important at all to even have in the game. Might be a nice extra feature, but also not that necessary to even consider, to be honest. So open world raid bosses, great idea. I think open world raid bosses should be exactly like the Sigil. Sorry, I used all my tickets today to push here a little bit. Should be exactly like the Sigil dungeon, just instead of having the level for yourself, there should be a world level, and the world level should reset like each month, for example, so that new players can also participate without any problem. And I think it's a great idea if you still have like tickets, and that you can keep the tickets for a long period of time, just so that players can hoard those tickets as people do it in the arena, for example. Like Dark Souls, there's no way Dark Souls, he's a good player, he's I think top 20 at the moment, but there's no way he could be rank 1 if someone like Freya, for example, would really push in there. There's no way he could hold first rank. It is what it is. But if you hoard the tickets for 1, 2, 3 weeks and then push all at once, then you can do something like Dark Souls did, and actually get a high rank in the arena without being the number 1 ranked player in the game. And I think that's a good way to actually execute something like a world boss as well. But yeah, that's just my take on a world boss. I think great idea, should come, I hope, really soon. In-game pop-up messages, we will read about that in a moment. Labyrinth challenges, I think I should also get you my take when we read about it, because it's not that self-explanatory right now. Minigames, really interesting idea. But something that I think is really unnecessary to have, simply because it is still an idle game, and even though there is a lot of players that like to play active and like to be around the game all day as I do, idle games tend to be more played by people that work a lot, have a lot of stuff to do, but still want to game something at the end of the day, but don't lose out or have like this FOMO. Every time they still gain stuff even though they don't play, you know, and that's why people like idle games, because they don't have to actively do things. But if you implement more and more content, this content is also taking time out of the day from people. So I don't really know if it's too good to have minigames. I think minigames per se nice, I think in a sort of an event, but I don't think minigames would be nice if you have an extra tab that you have to do on what God knows a time a day, or if you have to grind for something extra again, and then you have again ways that go higher than others and blah blah blah. I think minigames, good idea if you put them in an event, and say, for example, you have one try that you don't lose even though you don't use it. For example, you have an event that has 2 weeks with a minigame in it, and you can play the minigame one time a day, and you accumulate one try a day for the whole duration of those 2 weeks, for example. And you can also go in on the last day and play all 14 times on the last day, so people that don't tend to have too much time to actually play the game still have the chance to accumulate all they need in one sitting, instead of wasting, even though if it's just 5 to 10 minutes, even then they don't have to waste the time daily extra to what they have to do anyway already in the game over the course of the day. So I think minigames could be good, but can be brutally bad as well. So yeah, my take is, yeah, as I mentioned, introduction of new ranking and rewards of ranking. I will give you my take on that later as well. Rookie of the week and most ranking positions gained, minor boost for a week. Probably not that self-explanatory, but basically you get a certain buff for being a certain rank in a certain week. I see where Free are coming from for like taking it into consideration, but as of minigames, I don't think it's too necessary, because I think always like you want a game, even though if it's pay to win, you still want free-to-play players to actually feel able to participate in a lot of things. And as more rankings as you put into a game, as more things people can wail for usually to get higher advantages over other people. And I personally, for example, I would probably not even play this game at all if I seen, I don't know, Mineke on level 5000 and stage 1x million, blah blah blah. Once I hit stage 50, I saw like how freaking hard it is to actually gain new stages each and every day. So I would probably have stopped the game right there already. So therefore, you will see Freya's take on it. It's not that bad, but I also think you should probably don't go too deep with rankings, because you don't want to exclude all those free-to-play players in an idle game, at least, you know, like players that can't spend all day long in the game and can't spend money on the game, or don't want to because it's still a game at the end of the day. I think you should probably keep rankings low, but I still see the point. Like, it makes sense, but you will see Freya's take, then you know why. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm kind of split on this one. Pity system for pulls. I saw multiple people actually suggest that, and I think that's a great idea. You should have a pity system. Basically, what it means is, as you saw my other video, I hope, I did 6,000 pulls on equipment and companions, and I got 1 triple S on each. Not considering the levels, but just taking in what I really got from pulling. So basically I pulled 1.2 millions worth of gems, and I got 2 triple S units out of it. And that's bad, because my level isn't even that low. Like, I think here I was 28, I'm not sure about that. That's 0.022% for triple S, okay? 0.0, and when we go up here, you will see it's 0.025% higher. So basically the chance of getting a triple S is doubled, what's not that bad, but if I pull 6,000 times on the highest level, and let's say it's really double, so I would get 2 triple S units out of those 6,000 pulls, then I would still think like they just ripped me off, honestly. Like, that's really bad. That shouldn't be the case. I think a pity system is a must-have for them, or an increase on ratios. One of both, but it's not okay to have 6,000 pulls and a ratio of 1 triple S unit only. And for me, as someone who spends money in the game, I feel ripped off for literally spending $100 on 1 triple S unit at the end of the day. And then on the other hand, I see a free-to-play player, until he even can do that many pulls. I mean, okay, on the beginning, at the start, fine, you can do that. But as a player who can't spend all day long to farm carrots, for example, or to farm his vault tickets and stuff like that, that player will have a really hard time to actually get up to those 6,000 pulls. And this player will not really hit any triple S unless he's like super lucky. He will not hit those triple S pulls, and that's really bad, because as mentioned before, you should give free-to-play players the opportunity to actually have a shot at playing for ranks, even though if it's not top 10 ranks or top 20 or top 50, give or take it, but like at least have some sort of participation in the rankings, because it's really unsatisfying if you cannot beat, let's say, 50 or stage 60, for example, and then you see players hitting freaking stage 100 and having full EXP comp in, and grinding out stage 90 without even any problem, but one-shotting everything. And then you sit here and think to yourself, okay, I will never even get close to this level, because until I hit this level of this guy, he will probably be 10 times higher than me already again, so why should I play it, if it's a competitive person? And yeah, besides of any money, there's no real way to get any, like, top tier stuff. I mean, we got the stage breakthrough, nice and all, but that's also like, okay, you get a few gems, nice, but also what you really do with them, because once you pull, you don't get any triple S anyway, so what matters, you know? Then yeah, you get triple S stuff, quite nice, EX stuff, nice, L, nice, but yeah, why does it stop? That's the thing. It's an event, okay, but even though if it's an event, why doesn't, like, the event goes till 2099, so I mean, you know, they should put in more stuff, and they should do, for example, like after you hit wave 50, they should do gem rewards for 55, they should do gem rewards for 56, for 65, for 75, and so on, you know, they should implement gem rewards every 5 stages, at least after 50, and then also more L and EX equipment for each and every 10th stage they hit, because that's how players feel rewarded for actually accomplishing something. But if a free-to-play player hits this stage of the game, there is no way, really no way, he will feel any accomplishment anymore at all, because he will be super stuck, because he won't get any X or L unless he's super giga lucky, and the super giga lucky happens, if he's really lucky, once a month. So it's just really give out more free rewards in that sense. Then it wouldn't be as much of a problem for the pullings. But yeah, again, small point, but I get a big take on this, I know. But pity system, insanely important. Dungeons, not a self-explanatory, we will read into it right after. Set items. I mean, yes and no. The thing is, we already kind of got set items if you take it as the collection, you know. Like, somewhat the collection is a set, but we talk about this once we go down to Freya's points. Higher gear, I mean, yeah, I agree, because the highest people hit L and hit EX and already leveled them up a little bit, so yeah, I agree the ceiling is set already, like people hitting the ceiling, so there should be some sort of upgrade for the top-notch players, but also that just strengthens my point of make it more available for people that didn't hit the top spot yet, you know, because even the battleground a little bit, even though if people spend money, but just make it easier for smaller players to grow as well. At least on the hard breakthroughs. I mean, yeah, I talked enough about this. Sorry, I fade away again. So yeah, higher gear, important. Tower upgrade and difficulty, we talk about this once we go down. Chat overhaul, yes or no. I mean, the only really concern I have about the chat is you're kind of limited to languages for the game. And I think having multiple game languages is nice, but I know it's hard to translate the whole game into a new language, and that's why they take like the most important languages. But I think there should be just a new tab with chat language. So even though if the game is in English, for example, why can't I have the option to go to the German chat, for example, and talk to the German people? I really have to go ahead and click on German so that I'm on the German chat, and that's that's my take for the chat overhaul, but we'll see what Freya is talking about there. Reporting and customer service, yes, customer service unfortunately really bad in this game, really bad. There's basically no support on Discord. That's also why, again, join our Discord. We can try to build our own community and help each other as good as possible, but unfortunately the customer service is horrible. You can literally go to either a website, and after searching for a ticket system 1 hour later you have those tickets, or you can officially report into their Discord, but there is never a response to you. So, for example, if you see a cheater and you report him, you can assume he got banned or not, depending on if you still see him on the ranks or not. But also you could just have stopped playing the game because cheating is kind of boring. And after, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's fun for 1 or 2 days probably, because yeah, you can max out everything, blah, blah, blah. But after that, you don't really have anything because you cannot accomplish anything because you get everything anyway. So, you know, rich people's problem kind of put in a game. And yeah, so that's kind of like, you know, a problem, a big problem. So customer service really and reporting like should be upgraded at least a little bit. Like have at least one guy or 2 people sitting there or having like chat mods from any game they have. Like this game is not that complex. They can understand it pretty fast if they have the access to the game and the source code and stuff, and just like teach them a little bit and let them have access in the Discord as chat mods so they can talk to people and help out a little bit. Like just have a little interaction with the community, because right now it feels like we as community talk to a wall, and yeah, they give us updates, they give us events, and they say they reply to our suggestions, but it's like you don't feel like they speak to you. It's more like they make an announcement, but they never told you like, hey, nice idea, thanks for that, or never like go deeper into those ideas. They just straight up copy paste what they read in suggestions, more or less. It's like having a voting system. If it got 10 votes, we will take it into the game. That's basically how it feels as of right now. And yeah, that's really not good. Yeah, next point, presets for equipment, companions and specials. Yeah, please. It's really horrible. I mean, we got presets for our potentials. Why can't we have presets for our specials? Why can't we have... I mean, presets for the specials, don't get me wrong, it's kinda hard because you have to pay the 1k each time then. But you could do something like, hey, pay 100,000 or 50,000 gems one time and you get another slot and you can swap those two around as often as you want or something. Like, you don't have to make it absolutely gem training, but like do it as a one-time investment that also free-to-play players can actually accomplish. And so maybe the company can do it. A little tip from me, you can do a third preset for money for $5 or something. People will buy it, as me probably, for just experimenting. So that's a way to make money again for you, and free-to-play players don't really need a third slot because, you know, they will take the best they can anyway. So yeah, please, presets. Really, it's horrible. You might ask yourself, equipment, why equipment? Just take the best one. Not necessarily that easy, because if you go to swords, for example, I mean, it's alt here, we don't have to worry about that too much yet, but as you can see, we get crit rate, we get movement speed. If we go on, we got attack speed and crit rate. If we go on, we got super crit rate and crit rate. And if we go on, we got crit attack and crit rate. So yeah, there is a difference even, and if you didn't see it, the damage is always the same. Sorry, that was click. It's always the same. So basically the L swords just have different stats. So yeah, there is a reason for that. And yeah, you should probably, you know, give the people some presets for that, because it really sucks to go ahead and put in the singular things every single time. Like, nah, no one wants to do that. And same goes for companions. There's 6 slots for companions. I'm literally, sometimes, if I have to change around, I'm too lazy to put in those heroes I really want, and I just click auto equip. Right now I don't have auto equip in there, but I'm just too lazy. That's why I do it, because I don't want to spend like 1 minute or 2 minutes every single time to figure out, okay, which hero was it, because I cannot recognize just from the face which stats they have. Not as of right now, at least. I mean, I know he's EXP, for example. I know she's gold or he is gold, for example. Okay, but that's because I use them especially for that spec. That's why I know it. But I don't know. I mean, bad example. She's EXP. I know that. She's gold. I know that. Oh no, she's actually not. She's crit rate. Sorry, my bad. See, it's like I can't even remember. Just disequip her. Unlucky. And it's really frustrating. Like, to check out everything all the time just to equip the right things. Nah, just no. I don't want to do that. No one wants to. So please, yes, give us presets, please. Special sums, we'll read about that. So that was my take, more or less, about most of the points so far. So let's quickly go ahead and see what Freya says for the guild system. I will try to make this part a little bit quicker, because you can go ahead to the Discord and read it yourself if you want to go deeper into the theme. And you can pretty sure ask Freya certain points on the takes on Discord. She or he, sorry, is really active on Discord, so you'll find the person around a lot, and also in the English game chat you can see Freya quite often. So guild leveling system, so basically just a system to increase the stats of your guild. Benefits for guild members, yes, I mean you can do like a guild system like specials, where you say, okay, guild has X levels, so they get X amount of points that they can put in a skill tree, and those skill points, those benefits from the skills apply to every single member in this guild, you know. So that's absolutely a thing they should do. I think that's baseline guild, yeah, more or less. Content to do as a guild, I mean, yeah, makes sense. And here we have guild boss, tower dungeons, guild versus guild weekly PvP event, and lots more of content to be added. Yeah, I think guild boss is obvious, like that's something like every idle game I tried with a guild had a guild boss, PvP event as well. Guild dungeons and tower, yes and no. I didn't see anything with a tower, but I saw dungeons already. But I think that the idea of a tower is really interesting. If you can, for example, say you have a preset of like 10 slots, for example, and you can apply to play the tower with your guild, and the 10 strongest people that applied will join the tower run, for example, once a day or once every 3 days or twice a week or whatever, you know, you can do whatever you want, but let them battle out, for example, whatever happens to in the tower. Or you can even go further and say, okay, we have 6 slots for companions, we have slots for equipment, and we have the main Valkyrie. So you could go ahead and say, okay, we take the 10 peoples, and those 10 peoples contribute one thing for this run. So, for example, if you wanna go high crit rates, then people can, for example, sorry, wrong one, contribute her for the hyper crit rate, let's say, I don't know, 3 times, and then you have someone giving in the Valkyrie, and the Valkyrie stats are basically the same as he has already. So if someone, if I would go in as with my Valkyrie and they would put in 2 more only of her, then I would already be at nearly 100%, you know. So you could play around as a guild and be strategic about the tower, and really make like something really cool out of it. Like there's so many like things you could do with having a tower as a guild event. Yeah, PvP event, it's obvious, lots of more. I mean, yeah, if you have good ideas, share them on Discord, please. There's a lot of people and they love to talk about ideas. Friend list. Friend list with X amount of slots. Send gifts to friends with, I mean, this point is the reason for X amount, so you don't can like bot yourself unlimited accounts and just send yourself rewards infinitely. Makes sense. With those small gifts can be bought or random rewards be given. Yeah, I think overall, I mean, everything else is pretty much just having like a dual system with your friends to try out new PvP settings without wasting your arena tickets and stuff. One thing I find really cool is the borrower comp system. So basically, if you have really high tiered friends, that you could let them play a stage for you. I think that's a really cool idea, but I don't think limited to 5 comps a week is good. I think you should do 3 instead, and I think you should do it a day. Simply because it makes people actually catching up, you know, like people can still catch up to higher people, stage-wise at least, only stage-wise, but still don't necessarily gain that much more besides of the breakthrough rewards and stuff like that. But besides that, I mean, yeah, sure, you get some ranking, okay, but the active higher people, if they start to accumulate 3 comps a day, they will keep the higher rank still because they reach it first, you know. So, but you can still farm 80s or 90s if you go with Maneki as your friend, for example, or with Freya as your friend. So I think it's not bad. Or you could even say do it to 1 comp a day. So even if you have a really bad day, no luck, no good pulls, nothing, you still have like more or less a 100% chance of clearing a stage. And I really talk about a stage. I don't talk about just like one enemy here. I talk about really literally one full fucking stage. Give them something, you know? Give them something. It's helping. It's helping a lot. I mean, if you say you really want to do it with just one stage like this, like 65-1, then again I think 3 a day should be doable. Or give it a certain amount of time instead. Say, okay, you have 1 a day, but for, let's say, 120 seconds, for example, so 2 minutes basically. And as far as the person can go in 2 minutes, as far as you get. I think that's pretty fair as well. I mean, 2 minutes is probably a little bit too high for that, but you could do a minute or something. Because if someone like Maneke with like 500 attack speed and 500 movement speed uses his Brunhilde skill, he will just crash through your stages without any problems. So yeah, probably make this a little bit smaller, but still there's a lot of things to do. But I think 5 comps a week is a bit low, on the really low end, because yeah, then again it depends on how much 1 comp gives you. Like if 1 comp, for example, gives you a whole stage tree like this, then yeah, 5 a week would probably be accurate to have, because you kind of have to be strategic about when to use them. But yeah, this is like really depending on how much you really going to like give people behind it, you know. PvP expansions, so yeah. In addition to the current arena, free battles. Yes, I want that, but no, I don't want it free versus free. I would love 6 versus 6. Simply, you have a Valkyrie that is straight up 0 stats everywhere. That's the Valkyrie you're fighting with. Your team is fighting with, and everyone can contribute 1 Valkyrie in a live battle mode setting, you know. So if someone, as mentioned before, for example, puts it in and gives hyper crit, then everyone can see, okay, he gave in hyper crit, so we have 20% hyper crit. What else do we need? And then people can figure out, okay, we need crit chance, so we get the 100%. We need super crit, so we get the 100%. And then we can put in some more crit rate and blah blah blah, or we need some whatever, you know. So that you can kind of build the Valkyrie as you like her to be. And yeah, I think that would be really cool. You could still do it in a 3v3 way. No, there's no reason to not, but I think it's cool if you can kind of implement more players to play in an interactive live game mode, but I don't see it coming too soon, something like this. But yeah, would be pretty cool. So Freya's take on it was no pre-made teams, but randomly assigned. I think yes and no. I think it's cool if you have 1 mode for teams and 1 mode for randomly assigned people. Simply because teams, I think you should do some sort of like championship or something like that. That is like monthly or so. And randomly assigned should be like a weekly event. So you still have like the top people like battling out who is like the stronger team, who can accomplish more as a team, and who can set up a better strategy. Sorry, my English today is really... I'm kind of tired, sorry. To actually beat the other team. While I also think it's a good idea to have no pre-made teams, so you cannot just go with the 2 biggest ways you know and crush everyone. So that's a good thing to have for free-to-play players. Just have like an MMR system or something that tells you like in what range you can get people from. Something like that. I think that's a good idea. Because of an initial fee of X amount of gems. So basically you have to pay gems to even join this event once a week. Yeah, as I said also, I think once a week is a good duration for that if you say randomly assigned. Sign up, so you have to sign it up. That's also good because why would they take gems out of your pocket? And then there is, she or he, sorry, basically had the idea of having a damage reduction for the next upcoming event for the winning team. So if 3 ways blah 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 get together and win it, then they all do less damage. And there's a little problem I see with this. If like I'm not 100% sure how it's meant, but if it's still meant for the 3 versus 3 battles, then you cannot do a randomly assigned but give a debuff, because if I as a player go in and I have a teammate who has a debuff, I get debuffed as well for playing with someone who won last week, but it doesn't reward me at all to play with this guy. But I have to because I get forced into it because I'm randomly assigned, you know? So that would be not fair for the other 2 players that has to play with the one guy who has debuff. I mean, yeah, sure, there is a reason why he got the debuff, but if you give 20 to 25%, I mean, let's be honest, that's a freaking ton of damage, you know? That's ridiculously high. Like, yeah, I don't feel this is a good idea if you do randomly assigned. I think this is something you could do if you really say, okay, you do a monthly championship with where really Wales versus Wales can fight. I think that's a good idea. But also then I think 20 to 25% is just way too much, because even if we take it weekly as you mentioned it's like there's so much that can happen in 1 week, you know, and one player can absolutely crush the rankings in 1 week out of nowhere, and like this debuff is just insane for the other team then, because there is literally no way they can win if they have a debuff this big. So I think something like a 5 to 10% debuff would be more accurate and more okay for this kind of system. But as I mentioned before, I don't think a debuff is okay if you have randomly assigned teams. But that's in mind if 3 versus 3 battles are really meant to be with the debuff as well. But as far as I understood this so far, it was meant in one event. I'm not sure about it, but that's what I can read out of it. This dex is consecutively, so basically if Super Giga Whale wins all the time, he can get debuffed until he has 1% damage left. I think yes, it's okay to have this. I think you should cap it at some point. I don't think you should have it on 99%. I think you should do it on like 50, maybe 25%. I think 25 is really the max you should go down, because it's kind of unrewarding. For example, if for a big whale, if he spends a lot of money but gets debuffed for spending money, like it's kind of like the game doesn't want him to pay money after all, you know. I know what you mean, like changing the game up a little bit and not making a Giga Whale only winning all the time. Okay, but also there's enough people on pretty much the same stage of the game at the moment, and if you give a debuff to Akuma, for example, right now, that is 99%, then basically anyone in the top 100 or even in the top 500 probably could kill him instantly, because he would just do 0 damage at all. So I think you should cap it at a certain point, because I don't think any, like, no one should be able to just demolish the rank 1 player or something, you know. I don't think that should be the case. I think there should be a good, healthy distribution of might still in the game. So yes, I agree, consecutively debuffing someone is really nice. putting it back once he lost on 0 is also nice, so once he got his debuff completely suffering him out, he can go back and dominate it for another few weeks or whatever. I think that's really good. I think just 99% is way too much, as I think this is just way too much. But yeah, it's still it's about the timeline and how it's all set up together and stuff. Note that not signing up, paying the initial fee does not reset the penalty. So basically, if the Giga super hardcore chat whale, Kraken, whatever, is already on 50%, and then he thinks to himself, I just not play for 1 week and then play again, then he will still have this debuff. I think it's not too bad, but also not that good. I think you should have some sort of, okay, if you say, I will take my numbers I said before, like 5 to 10%, then you should have like 5 to 10% deducted each week you don't play. So if someone dominated for 10 weeks straight and is on 50% deducted damage, and then he doesn't play for, let's say, 5 weeks, then 25% of those 50 deducted should be back on him. Like, he should only be deducted 25%, because if someone doesn't, like someone who is winning a lot, doesn't play this event, it's more likely that he was on vacation, he had not much time to spend on the game, so he already kind of suffered not playing the game damage wise and account wise, and therefore I think you should just deduct it over time to make it a little bit easier for him to come back as well. Because if I, for example, go to a vacation for 1 month and I don't really pay attention to the game, but just doing like the daily bullshit I have to do like really quick and then like log off right again and go on with my day, I really, like, come on, I don't want to come back into the game and be like completely freaked because I get debuffed like 99%, you know. It doesn't make really much sense for me. So I think you should have a weekly deduction that is exactly as high as how much you add to this person. Other players can bet a certain amount of gold on the... You guys probably know that, like, if you have some sort of tournament tree that, for example, the top 20, the top 16 players of the rankings, or the top 16 of the events that get to this point, that everyone can bet money on them. I think you should not only do it with gold. I think you should do gold and gems, or only gems even. Because yes, gold is nice and stuff, but also I see the problem of botting, because we saw a few cheaters in this game already, and I think there would be players that actually just bot a ton out gold with thousands of accounts, just to then place it on a wrong bet to win it all the way, you know, like win a good amount of money. So I mean, yeah, you can do the same with gems, but with gems it's easier to see it happen, and there's just so much you can get of gems regardless of how many accounts you do. But gold you can farm like all the time. Like, yeah, you can do it okay, like it's hard to say it, like, but I feel like gold is not as easy to track down for botting and stuff as gems would be, because okay, if you have 1000 accounts created on the same day, having the exact same amount of gems, putting it the exact same bet in 1 hour, it's a little bit easier to track that than having 1000 bots that spend I don't know, a few billion or a few trillion gold each and every time they have a bit into that system, because it would just be a lot, you know. But yeah, I think betting is a good idea. I'm just a little bit too concerned at the moment because of we saw cheaters. That worries me a lot, but the idea overall is really good, and I think it's really healthy for the game. And also, yeah, 2 champ bets. The only problem is everyone will go for the biggest whale, and yeah, it's kinda hard to say like how much can a person win, because if everyone bets on the strongest person all the time, where do they get the wins from? You know, does the system give them the winning, or do they win it from the people that bet on the other side, but who would bet on the other side if they know already they will lose? You know, it's kind of hard to implement it. Many games have it, but I think many games have it not in a good way. So I think it's a good system, but you have to implement it really good to make it work. Have a replay function so everyone can watch the rounds or start a quarterfinals until reset. Basically still for all these event things. Yeah, having a replay is pretty nice. I think even you should do something like, I mean, take a YouTuber or a streamer or someone and actually live stream it, you know, make a little event out of it, make something that combines the community. As of right now, I don't see it happen, sadly, but I think that would be really cool if you have some sort of community events where also the content creators can provide something for the community, or even give out rewards, for example, like we have IDs, you know, make a live stream where you give away and people can share their IDs and random 10 people get rewards, for example, or whatever. You can make so many things, but yeah, I think having some function of watching the event, even if you don't participate, is really good. Free for all 1v1s, that's, as far as I understood it, that's now all this is free versus free thing. Sorry, that was too far. This is all free to free versus free, as I read it or I understood it. And this is like the next event, free for all 1 versus 1. I also made it sign up deadline on Sunday with initial fee and then just a tournament fee. So basically the same as the free versus free thing, only for 1 versus 1s. During the sign up process, you will have to choose your presets or another loader to introduce your this. Yeah, I think if you sign up, you should already have the preset, or the set that you use at this right moment will automatically be implemented unless you change it in the option. It costs X amount of gems. I think there should be some sort of option that you can, for example, have you can entry with 500, 5,000 and 50,000 gems, for example. And if you go for the 500 option, you get X1 rewards, there you get X10 rewards, and there you get X100 rewards. So basically, if you enter with high gem value, you also get a ton of rewards more, regardless of the rank you get. So even though if you don't hit rank 1, or even though you don't even hit rank 1, top 100 or something, if you hit, let's take the rankings for example from the arena, if you hit for example rank, let's say 100 to 1000, and the reward is, instead of 4000 gems, let's say 4000 Saphir. Okay, I mean it's unrealistic, but let's say 4000 Saphir, just for the math. Then instead of like if someone joined with the 500 gems, then yeah, they get the 5000 Saphir. But if someone, for example, joins with the 5000, then they get 40,000 Saphir. And if someone joins with the big bags for 50k, then they should get 400,000 Saphir. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely couldn't work with Saphir, because Saphir is, bro, like, nah, couldn't work. But just for the maths, you know, just to make that clear, okay? I think that would be a pretty cool idea to have, if you have to set X amount to join. And yeah, then basically the same thing again with deduction, blah 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 blah. Yes and no. Same thing goes for what I have mentioned upfront. Like, that's too much. That's too much. Yes, and that should be weekly deducted as well if you don't join. other players can beat a certain amount of gold on bet on blah blah blah. Same thing as there, just betting system. Yeah, it's cool. Let's encourage kids to gamble more. I think that's always a good idea. I love it. Have a replay function. Oh my gosh, my English. Yeah. Again, same thing as there. Guild versus guild. Should be a tournament tree as well. Sign up automatically or up to reset on Monday. During the sign up process, you will have to choose your presets or not allotted. Blah blah blah. In the case, every participant of the field have to set their individual loadout for the tournament. Have the guild select an amount of players allowed to fight, maybe 5 versus 5. Basically, what I mentioned before. Yeah, have like people that fight for you. You know, like choose the best team you can choose to fight against each other. As if the number is not limited, this might hurt smaller guilds. Not only that, but also, if you don't limit it, you can have literally one Giga Super Whale group of 6 players versus a Giga Super Whale group of 5 players, and the 6th whale will literally kill every single person that comes after the 5 whales, if they're on the same level, if you know what I mean. Like if you have, for example, the top 11, if they're exactly on the same strength or just barely different to each other, then 5 people will kill 5 people, and the other 5 will kill the other 5, and the last person will kill off the last person of the other team, and then will kill the whole complete guild on his own. And that couldn't work. So that's just pay to win hardcore mode again. And you can probably, I mean, yeah, you can make the same argument for the 5v5, but at least you can kind of make it in a smaller radius. And also I think you should add an MMR system to this, as you still hurt smaller guilds, because if a small guild has to play against the biggest guild, there's no chance, no shot, no way this guild will ever win. I mean, yeah, biggest guild, blah blah blah, but second best guild could also beat the best guild if there were a good amount of upgrades, for example. So make an MMR system behind it. If a guild wins, make their next enemies harder if they wanna as well. So more wins, more MMR. If you lose against someone, you lose MMR, blah blah blah. You know, elo system implemented into this. Really important to not hurt the free-to-play players too hard, or the smaller groups of people. You could even make it that guilds are seeded, or to make it more fair for everyone, to randomize the battles. I don't think you should do any tournament mode where you randomize fights at all, because having a tournament is somewhat of a competition, and the competition should always be some sort of, like, how should I say that? You should have some sort of your own strategy being implemented. But if a fight is randomized, it's, I mean, if you take poker, you can be the best poker player on the world, but you can play so that you never lose money, but also you can play so that you risk a lot to win a lot. And the best poker players often don't win the pots where they got the better hand, but win the pots where they bluff better than the others, or bluff someone out really good. So you can't really make this argument for something like poker, for example. That's what my point was about. But if you have a set ground where you randomize things that players have absolutely no chance to even interact with, that's not good. You should not do. You can do a fun mode or something with that, randomized battlegrounds, I guess, but taking away the ability for players to have any strategy behind it at all. I mean, yeah, it depends on how deep the randomized factor is here, I guess, but I don't think you should, like, at this point I cannot agree with, I cannot agree with this point at all, to be honest. Rewards can be anything from magic cubes, summoning tickets, gems, to whatever. Fair, yeah, I mean, you should have set ground of what to give people. I mean, yeah, it's kind of obvious. Open world raid boss, unlimited amount of tries. Meh. I don't think that's good. Tries cannot be given up in order to avoid spamming fights. I didn't really understand what's meant with this one, to be honest. If this isn't possible, giving up will make you giving up in the sense of like if you go to tower, give up. Okay. Tries cannot be given up in order to avoid spamming fights. Okay, I see. If this is not possible, give up will make you allowed to fight the boss again for the next 5 minutes. Okay. Every fight should be 30 seconds or 1 minute, could even go up to 2 minutes, maybe long. Maybe a cooldown time of 30 seconds so you cannot enter again. Sponsored time, last hit boss kill will be announced via pop-up in her chat. Great reward for last hit, small amount for resources. Fight according to contribution, spawns once a week, daily or every other day. I got a few issues with that and a few points I really like. The way with unlimited amounts, I said I don't agree, but I understand what's meant. But I think if you want a world boss that has a certain spawn time and is alive for a certain time, let's say the boss is alive for 15 minutes, then you should not do separate tries, but what you should do is a contribution list, like literally just on the side of the screen, who is Meneke, I hope I write his name correctly right now, did 1 trillion damage. Second, Akuma did 0.9 trillion damage, you know? Like have a live ranking list that live, like literally, or like every 5 to 10 seconds is accurate to that timer, and just leave people for the amount of the fight in there, you know? Instead of forcing them to be on the phone all the time and clicking this button every 30 seconds or every minute or every 2 minutes. Just make it a mode where people can pre-join a minute before he spawns or join in a second he spawns and just leave them in there, you know. There's like, it's an idle game still, you know. People don't always want to click on their phone 24/7. Maybe they're watching a movie, maybe they do something else, then it's probably okay for them to click one time on their phone, but it's probably not okay for them to sit there for 50 minutes and clicking 30 times on their phone just to participate in an event, you know what I mean? So if it's that way, then yeah, probably just don't do it in tries, but do it as like you can either participate or not, you know, kind of thing. But I think what's better is if you have the world boss as like a weekly enemy, like as I mentioned before, have it like the Sigil dungeon, you know, have a world boss on a world level and or do it a monthly or whatever, you know, but have him on level 1. If that's how the world boss spawns, it's Monday. World boss spawns, 4 is the world boss now, he's level 1. Meneke is the first guy who joins in. He kills level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. Now we're on 8, Meneke failed. This was his attempt to kill for this day. Every day he gets one new try, one extra try. But this is where Meneke stopped. Okay, Akuma comes in, Akuma can beat level 8 and Half-Life's level 9. Okay, Freya comes in, Freya kills level 9 and Half-Life's level 10. Blah blah blah, you know? So people can join the fight and kill the bosses, and if bosses die, new bosses spawn. And every time a boss on a certain level dies, there should be just a small mail where everyone gets rewards for a boss kill, regardless of how strong they are. And then you should have the last hit rewards extra, so people that did a last hit get a little extra reward. And I don't think the reward should be like, I think you mentioned great reward for last hit. I don't think the reward should be great. I think the reward that everyone gets should be great, and the reward the last hit gets should be like a small extra. Something that is nice to go for and people should aim to get it, but still, like, I don't know, let's say it should be like 5,000 gems, for example. I mean, yeah, big whales, they probably get their 20,000 gems a week by killing 4, 5, 6 levels of the world bosses then. But that's okay. I mean, they wealth a ton of money to get at this point, so... And 20k is not that much, to be fair. But, or if you put like 5k for each last hit, or depending on the level you can increase it, you know, like 1k or 2k for each level. You can do a lot of things, you know, really a lot of things with that. But I think that's the better idea. So everyone has 1 try per day. You can accumulate them, so you don't have to spend all on one day. You can go on day 7 on Sunday. You can go in and spam all your 7 tries at once. So therefore you can be more strategic about when to fight the boss. So if I know I have set stats and I have I don't know, a level 5 boss on certain amount of HP, I know when he's on 10%, as soon as he hits 10%, I have 4 tries, I need to go in and go for the last hit. You know, you can make a plan to actually go for last hit and do this kind of stuff if it's more long term. But if you just do a 50-minute run, I mean, I can pretty easy tell you who will be able to get the last hits, you know. It's really just 3 names I see that will get a last hit because the damage is just absolutely much higher than everyone else. And yeah, that's okay, but also you should somehow give other people the chance to get last hits, you know. So that's just my way of thinking of a world boss. I think it would be cooler if it's just a more like wider event than just a certain amount of time that you can participate in, because that kind of forces you to be online on an exact point of the day. And yeah, people will join because of FOMO, but also people will leave really quick because they feel like they have to be on the game all day long, and people usually tend to not like it in the long run. I mean, sure, you might like it when you start the game because it's like you see it in the red glasses, you know, you love the game, you enjoy it a lot because it's something new, it's something exciting. The service quite new, the game is quite new, so the rankings are still really vulnerable and you can actually gain and blah blah blah. Nice and all, but still, if you force people to be on your game all day long, instead of just people wanting to be there all day long, you're just going to lose people in the long run a ton, and I don't think that's really good. So I think World Boss as an idea really good, but I think just make it a more wider event. In-game message pop-up. So pop-up for every XComp, blah 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 blah. Basically for everything, if someone gets something really cool, that there's just a little pop-up. Yes, but please give me the option to go to settings and turn it off, because also this like hotfix blah 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 blah, it's super annoying, especially if I wanna do stuff right now and I already updated the game, and if I see new hotfix, I go again and check if there's a new update that I missed out, but there is not, and then I need to reconnect to the game and blah, nah, please, no, give me the option to actually turn it off if I don't want to see it. It's nice, it binds the community, it's really important to have these options, yes, but yeah, just it gets too spammy too fast, so give people the option to actually turn it off. Then I'm absolutely agreeing with this. Yeah, labyrinth challenges, known from other games as well. Normal mode, hard mode, hell mode, maybe even puzzles or hidden secrets, available every third day, limited amount of tries, extra currency and shop. Yeah, labyrinth challenges, to be honest, I think instead of having labyrinth challenges and minigames, that's pretty much the same in my opinion, but let's go ahead and treat minigames first before I take my take on the labyrinth. Introduce some kind of minigames, fun and best case scenario interactive, introduce of new rankings, rewards of rankings, no intensive to push stages, as ranking does not reward you with anything but a chat color, add rewards for the actual ranking for all players, tower ranking, guild ranking, rookie ranking, yeah. a lot of ranking stuff, and my take on rankings, you get it. It's just don't give ways too much to jerk off on. I think the labyrinth idea is a good idea to have as minigames. I don't think labyrinth should be its own idea. I think labyrinth should just be the minigames idea, and the minigames idea should be deleted to void. That's honestly my take on this. Sorry, Freya, for being that harsh there, but I think the labyrinth is basically what a minigame is like. And I get the interactive point, and don't get me wrong, like I think interactive stuff is like really nice, but as mentioned before, I think interactive stuff should be something like, okay, have a live stream where you give away stuff for people that are active there, and do some events where people like together, but don't do an event where people have to play the game because they feel like they miss out on too much important stuff, you know. That's just my take on it, but yeah. Basically ranking, and rookie ranking is basically what we read about before. Rookie of the week, exactly, it's basically the same. Set the rookie ranking above, reset Remandi at the server, reset. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, this is the Discord message, but yeah, as you can see, Freya, I tried to delete them all, but I unfortunately missed that one, I see. Pity system for pulls. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. I mean, pity system is really self-explanatory, and I mean, yeah, okay, this one I didn't cover. For synthesizing as well, I just covered for summoning, but I think it's a really good idea to actually do it for synthesizing as well. I think 25 might be too high, because if you have to combine 25 times, okay, that's basically 125 of a unit. So if I have to put in 125 triple S units, and as mentioned before, my 6k pulls were 1 triple S, so no, this won't happen, because this 6k is equal to 600,000 gems, so no, this is way too high. Do it lower, do it on exactly 5 maximum, and do it a 20% increase in chance every time you miss. Makes also sense with the calculation. Actually, make it 4 times, or don't even give it a time, just do it flat 20% more chance, regardless of which level you add. Because, where is it? Companion, synthesize, 20%, because EX 20%, so you add 20%, you're at 40, 60, 80, 100. Easy. Same goes for SSS. 50, 70, 90, 100. I mean, yeah, okay. Probably for SS you could even do like 25-ish. So you go 55, then you go to 80, and then you go to 100 or something. Just to like kind of tweak a little bit more chance into it, because it's not EX, you know. And once you go down, you should probably just do like, okay, do double it, you know, like just, okay, do 80%, 100%. Here you miss one, you get the next. Yeah, and down here I don't think you should change anything, because if you get an S grade from a B rank, then freaking hell, you're lucky as hell anyway. Yeah, probably just take away like 10% chance to be a B rank again, and give those 10% to the A rank. Basically same goes for here, C to B and D to C. Just change 10% chance, and then that would be really good. But yeah, I think the idea of having just a good chance of like a calculated chance of hitting an EX at some point, and not praying for those 20% to hit. I think that's a good idea. You should really do more calculated stuff for people, so they can calculate with, okay, I have 1.2 million gems, so if I spend them now on summoning, more or less how much blah 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 will I get, and will it be enough for me to get an EX? You know, just make it people being able to math stuff out. That's what people like. They like to throw around with numbers because we had to learn it in school and we hated it, and we want to use math every fucking time we can because we fucking hated it in school, and now we need to fucking sound like people that actually know what they're talking about, okay? Thanks. So, dungeons, ranking for every single dungeon. Crystals, runes, walls, blah 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 blah, without any extra rewards. Cool idea. I think it's really nice if you have, for example, I played the Sigil Dungeon Freya today. Talking about Freya. And this stage is horrible because I think it's every 10 seconds she heals around 50% of her HP. And I cannot beat her because I literally don't do enough damage. Basically what I do as damage, she heals back every single 10 seconds. So I cannot beat the stage. So it would be really nice to have a ranking system where I can see people that beat the stage already, so I can interact with them and ask them, hey, what kind of loadout did you use for this stage? Is there any trick I can kind of bypass the healing, or which buffs should I use for this stage so I can rush fast enough to actually get through in the 10 seconds and stuff like that, you know? Having a ranking system just for that, without any extra reward, I think that's a great idea. Just a little extra, you know, why not? Introduce group dungeons. Yes, yeah, not much to talk about, just like a raid, you know, just do raids, for example. Like, just do a tower, but for groups. And you always start on level 1, for example, but if you kill level 1 too fast, you jump up to level 10, level 20, and so on, so that you don't have to spend that much time, but make the group dungeon, for example, an entry 1 time a day, and then you can do, for example, 3 assists a day, and the assists give you an extra currency, so if you are away and you help people and actually invest time so people get higher, you get something out of it as well. I think that would be a cool way to kind of like help smaller people again, and also make it more interactive, and also like make the whales help the smaller players a little bit more, but also like give them a little bit of extra rewards just for the extra work they have to put in them. Later down the road, introduce set items. Acquisition could be from a world, raid boss, group dungeons, blah blah blah. As mentioned before, I think we already kind of have set bonuses by simply the collection. I need to ask Freya more about set items, like, I don't know what exactly is like meant for it. Like, is it okay if I have L1 on boots, on sword, and on gloves? Do I have an extra set bonus of something just because I have exactly those things? But at the other hand, like, you kind of force people to play then exactly this, because let's go back to the equipment. As mentioned before, I don't even know if they have the difference. Yeah, they do as well. For example, we have gold drop and attack speed here, we have damage against boss monsters and attack speed, damage against normal monsters and attack speed, super crit rate and attack speed. You know, you have all those different stats, and do you really want to force people into having an exact stat on the set they are playing simply because you think set items are nice? I mean, you know what I mean? Because everyone needs other stats, everyone is on another like level in the game, and everyone needs something else. For example, okay, I need 2% crit rate, I don't really care about those 2%, to be honest. But I need about 40% on super crit rate. So if I need super crit rate, and there is a set that gives me hyper crit rate, well, what do I do with that, you know? Like, I kinda have to play it because it probably gives me the most benefits of all. Like, if the set bone is, I don't know, 100,000 attack potential, or what do I know? I have no idea. But you kind of force people up on certain stats and you don't really let them swap around. So that's why I don't really get this point, because as mentioned before, you kind of have set items already with the collections. So I have to elaborate that with Freya, because I really don't get this point at all, to be honest. But yeah, let's go on. Higher new tier, introduce a high. I mean, obviously, as I mentioned before, people hit the ceiling. I mean, okay, Maneke and stuff, they run the EXP comp at the moment, but as you can see, for example, he has Elsword and blah blah blah. People slowly but surely hit the ceiling and get the best of the best stuff already, and the game is just around a month old. It got just released 10 days ago, but like there was an open beta 2 weeks, so around about 4 weeks now. And people already hit basically end game as of right now. So yeah, we really need much more gear. Tower upgrade in difficulty. Yes. In simple terms, the thing is, tower has 150 stages, okay? And once you hit that, you're done. There is no more tower for you, my friend. 150, finished. Just copy paste the tower 2 times, x100 all the stats in there, and x1000 the stats on the third one, and x10 and x100 the rewards you get of each, and you're basically done. You already have your hard mode and your hell mode, and this is normal mode. Or even do it 4 times, do this easy mode and then go on and what so on. But if you want higher gear, you also need more content, and tower, everyone loves tower, but I mean, yeah, 150 is still probably 1 or 2 months away from first people hitting it, don't get me wrong, but like still it's there, you know, we get there, and what then? Like, it's just a whole fucking content tab gone for those people. So yeah, I think hard mode, hell mode, really important. We should get that. Yeah, scale, tower ranking, yes. No X-ray. I think actually we have a tower ranking, don't we? No, actually not. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah, tower ranking would be cool. No extra rewards for tower ranking unless something cosmetic in chat. I think you should not do like a tower ranking cosmetic in the terms of, okay, rank 1 gets this, rank 2 gets this, rank 3 gets this, but okay, if you cleared normal stage 150, for example, or 100 or whatever, then you get an item, for example, a chat border. You know, give us chat borders. It makes the game so much more colorful, so better overall, you know. But yeah, since we go to chat overall anyway, but yeah, I mean, I just think like give cosmetics to everyone. And if you talk about the cosmetics in the terms of costumes, then again, give it to everyone. Like, then you can also put stats in, you know, then you can make it as a legit reward for clearing certain stages in the tower. So let's go on. Chat overhaul. Please adjust the censoring. Yes. Okay, second. Connect now, I think. Swap. Guys. Swap. Yeah. Please. Adjust the messed up chat once numbers are used. Do you think this points from the chat? No. same smiley. This time without I'm using the points. Once again. This is not the ones I wrote, those are the ones you have after every name anyway. Yeah, I honestly think, since the video is going really long already, we don't really have to go over the chat overhaul, because, yeah, also the reporting customer service, I already told you more or less about this problem. We have the same take on this as well. Presets for equipment, yeah. Everything I just said, pretty much the same. I mean, presets for equipment, no additional cost for switching, presets for current lineup of champions, no additional cost for switching, presets for specials. Yeah, just for the specials, I think do a one-time cost of, take 50k, who cares? Take 50,000 gems away from us for our new preset, or just give us one preset extra, why not? Like, it's you know, it's no loss for them to just give us a second tab. It's not like anyone would spend any money for 1,000 gems just to reset his preset. No one would do that, that's ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, either do a preset for like a one-time purchase where you can swap around both and reset each for 1k, you know, so if I'm not happy with preset 2, I can reset it for 1k, or if I'm not happy with preset 1, I can reset it for 1k, but don't make it like I have to pay 1k each time I swap around, because this way I would not need this button anymore, you know? I mean, yeah, sure, if I clear tower, blah blah blah, okay, but it wouldn't be that necessary anymore if I had this, you know? So yeah, specials, just give us the buttons as on attributes, and also on attributes give us a max tab. Not like maxing it out legit, but just max on what kind of money we could spend in and how much levels we would get. Not hard work, just give us that, please. Add another option to summon 100 each. Yes, that would be nice, because I would not sit 40 minutes to summon 17,000 things into the game. Instead I would sit yeah, around 10 minutes only, a bit more, 12 minutes. And I would not need to speed up the video for x8 speeds just to show you the whole thing in 5 minutes. Yeah, I would appreciate this, to be honest. Also, I would appreciate just a button where I can summon everything I have at one click. Like, why not? It's the game can calculate in what I get and what not. Like, just give me a list of every single character in the game and then tell me how much I got from each. It's not that hard, you know. This is for now. Suggestions, improve the game. You probably have a roadmap, but here I thought this might be helpful. Sorry. We will scroll up as this post is rather lengthy and I had to break it down into several posts. Cheers, Freya. So, I hope I didn't misunderstand too much of the things Freya were pointing out. I kinda wanted to take my take on this before really going in depth with Freya about those points. Simply, I mean, it would make sense in the terms of, okay, understanding each and every point she makes, but since this is like publicly posted in the solutions chat, I kinda wanted to make this as open as possible to just make sure Freya also sees, okay, what a random idiot like me would read out of this if I saw it without talking to Freya, you know? And yeah, it's a really freaking long video. I'm really sorry for that. The other video for all the stuff I got out of the summons will probably not go live today, but tomorrow. I really hope. I have to redo the audio because yeah, loud traffic, stuff like that. I fucked up, happens, whatever. yeah, sorry for that, but I will link you the Facebook page from Valkyrier Idol into the comments or into the description, whatever, I don't know yet, you will see it. I hope I don't forget, please remind me if I do. And please consider actually joining our Discord. It's really empty as of right now, but we will try to get it running in the next few days as fast as possible, so that we can actually have a really good setup community server. I cannot promote this server on the official Valkyrier page, and I don't want to because it's against their rules, understandably. And also, I don't want to get banned there because I still want to read patch notes and so on. So therefore, this is like the only way of advertising the Discord as of right now, at least. So yeah, please consider joining. I will try to get more and more players into the Discord as fast as we can. We will spread it into in the game itself, and also spread it in Discord privately to the more active players. Yeah, and let's hope we can build our own Discord that is actually working and running and makes fun to be around, because the one we got from the devs at the moment is just horrible, but you can see it yourself once you click on the link below. So yeah guys, thanks for watching the video and see you in the next one. Bye.